So, the most resistant people to the idea that James Dean has a grandson are the LGBTQ, is that right? And the Hollywood, you know, elites. They don't want to acknowledge that James Dean has a grandson. Every time I have something online, those are the people that make the comments, and the other people, just the average person, are open to the idea that, um, and I've explained quite a bit, enough for you to realize that definitely possible and more than likely probable. Now, here's another scenario. Rolf Weatherwich, who was the guy in the car with James Dean when he had the collision with Turnipseed. Now, Rolf, um, a few years later, he was married to his third wife, and he was known to be an alcoholic. And his wife divorced him because she accused him of killing James Dean. Now, why would that be? Unless Rolf got drunk and spilled the beans to her, there's no way she would have come to that conclusion. I mean, and make such a big decision like, I'm going to divorce my husband over this. So she thought there was a conspiracy. And later, he agreed to speak in interview on a major network show. And he was living in Germany at the time. He was German. And he crashed his Honda Civic into a brick wall like a couple weeks before he was scheduled to be on the show. So, I mean, all of those things, all the coincidences and things that have happened, seems like something was going on below deck that we weren't really aware of. And how would the accident have been planned? How would it have, how could they have done that? Well, CB radios at that time were just starting to be used in race cars. James Dean probably, he wanted to be a good driver and was, and he probably had that equipment, at least in the chase vehicle, which Bill Hickman was driving. Bill Hickman was a stunt driver. He was the guy who would design the car crashes and car chases for movies. And before the accident, he didn't really have much, credited to him. But after the accident, he got a lot more jobs in the movie business. So that's how it could have been done, is with CB radios alerting Turnipseed, okay, time to meet us on the road. And if you think about the accident itself, the recreations of it show that James Dean was not speeding, and he moved off to the right as Turnipseed was making his left-hand turn. So, and there was skid marks before the turn. So Turnipseed was probably speeding. And if you think about the self-preservation of, you're skidding and you're still turning and you don't see a car, that doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is he saw the car, slowed down enough to where he could hit it. And it wasn't a head-on collision. It wasn't like, if he hadn't seen him, there would have been more than likely a head-on collision. And since it was a side hit, he had to have seen him. And if you think about self-preservation, if you see something at the last second, you turn away from it. You don't automatically, unless you're trying to do it. So there's Rolf Weatherwich divorced his wife divorced him because she thought there was a conspiracy to kill James Dean. He later died in a car crash, which they say he was drunk and just rammed his car into a brick wall high speed. Um, so all of those things I just told you, it's self-evident that it was not an accident. And